How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And for today, we're going to be going over MULN and as well as for Polestar. We had a volatile day inside of the market, so I want to make sure that you guys are up to speed going into tomorrow and as well as for next week. But I will be doing more update videos. You guys know how I do already. Let's take a look at MULN. So it ended up closing at 81 cents, being up 1.10%. On the low, it tested 79 cents, and then on the high, testing 82 cents, almost got close to 83 cents. And then when we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 51.84 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 54.789 million shares. So we had below average volume on the day, and we did see some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, here's the first thing I want to bring to your attention. If you remember what I said in my previous MULN video, I was saying that support was going to come when it got into this mid 70 range, and that's exactly what we have going on here. But it's clear that we do have some consolidation that is going on. So the level that you want MULN to get to is at least to the 9 EMA, which is here at 84 cents. If we look in the past, the 9 EMA has served as an area of resistance. So if it can break above this 9 EMA at 84 cents, most preferably, you'd want to see a move going to 91 cents, which lines it up right where we have the 21-day EMA, and then you'd want to see what it would do from there. When we take a look at the price action in the past, especially taking in August the 3rd, we started seeing some resistance when we started getting in the higher mid 90-cent range. So that is an area to watch, especially if we're able to gain momentum above this 21 EMA. Now, as far as for the bearish case scenario here, of course, if it pulls back, then you'd want to see support coming in at 75 cents. This is an area where we have shown support back on the 1st and as well as for the 29th. If we did decide to break through this level, then that's where we could start seeing MULN wanting to get down to 72 cents and possibly testing right here around 70 cents. But so far, looks like it is just consolidating, and I think it just really needs a catalyst or some sort of news to really get it to start moving to the upside. As far as the volume being at 51.84 million, it still shows that there's a lot of interest in the market for this stock. They also do have earnings that is coming up on August the 16th, so let's see what happens going into Friday. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information from MULN. As we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So we're going to take a look at the recent filings for the 11th. So we have Dutch Bank that purchased 14,943 shares. We have Rumbine Advisors that purchased 24,298 shares. And we could also take a look at the 10th where we have a closed position, and we could see we also have High Tower Advisors LLC that purchased 14,542 shares. We have Pro Equities that showed 0 on the 9th. You know what? The rest we have already covered. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 52.89%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 22.14 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 550,000, updated 3 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 30.88%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 9th, it was at 54.75, and then for the close of the 10th, being at 52.89. So we have a slight decrease right there, and then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 17%, MULN does continue to have short squeeze potential, and on the bright side, it ended up pulling off a green day inside these choppy markets. Let's move on to Polestar. So as we take a look at the chart for Polestar, let's see how it performs. So it closed at $9.94, being up 3.76% on the day. And you can see in the after hours at the time of this recording, it is at $10.02. On the low, it tested $9.50, and then on the high, testing $10.11. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 2.326 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 1.4 1.452 million shares. So we had above average volume and we saw some strength in the stock. And I must say this is really good considering the market conditions. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, there's some interesting things we need to take a look at. So not only do we have to look at this sell candle that we had on August the 9th, you could clearly see after we had that, we have been riding the 9 EMA quite well. We also have the 9 EMA that's crossing over the 21. So this is a bullish sign. As you can clearly see, since we had this sell-off, we've been able to form higher lows and we were able to pull off a higher high on the day, getting to $10.11. So the next level that you want to watch would be right here around $10.50. If we can get to $10.50, things can get really interesting, because then in the next level you want to see get to is at $10.70, and then wanting to see that move going to $11. And of course, stocks just don't go straight up, so this wouldn't be a clean move to the upside. I want to make sure that I emphasize that. We also have to take into consideration the technical pattern. I'm going to show you guys something very quickly here. So let's select a drawing tool. As you can see, we have our cup that is forming. So are we going to have this cup going all the way to 1050, and are we going to have that handle that gives us that consolidation, maybe have that pullback going to 10, showing some support, and then making a further move up to 11? This could be a strong possibility, so add that to your notes, but that's what I'm seeing so far, and I want to make sure you guys are aware of that. If we decide to end up having a pullback, of course I want to see us continue this higher low pattern. Since we did get to a low of $9.50, if we could find support right on this 50 EMA at $9.74, that would be the best case scenario. If we decide to actually break through the low of $9.50, then of course I'd want to see support coming in right at the 21 EMA at $9.44, or even at the 9 EMA at $9.46. As you can see, the crossover like we mentioned, let's see if this momentum can continue. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Polestar. As we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for the 11th, we have Healthcare of Ontario Pension Plan Trust Fund that purchased 522,316 shares. We have Cetera Advisors Network LLC that purchased 40,630 shares, and we have Berkshire Capital Holdings Inc. that purchased 10 shares, and we have Core Cap Advisors LLC that purchased 250 shares, and that's all we have for the 11th. We could also take a look at the 10th since we haven't covered that. We also have Advisor Group Holdings Inc. that purchased 31,068 shares, UBS Group AG that purchased 5,185 shares. We also have Citigroup that purchased 14,702 shares, and we have Cigna Fred LLC that purchased 1,073 shares. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 51.87%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is around 281,871 shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 0, updated 28 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 166.47%. So that still remains to be high. And then when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 9th, it was at 53.46, and then for the close of the 10th, being at 51.87. So we see a little bit of a decrease, but one thing that is clear, Polestar does continue to have short squeeze potential. And that pretty much sums up the video for you guys. So let's see if Polestar could continue to show momentum. Like I was saying, we had a strong day considering that the market did show a bit of weakness. And in regards to MULN, it is going through some consolidation. So if you are thinking about taking a position, or if you're in a position, please keep an eye on those key levels that I mentioned, because it will help you out, especially if you decide to make a move to the upside. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, and if you got a lot of value from the video, make sure that you hit the like button. We'll talk soon.